Hi. Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. It's our part 4 of 4 webinar series that Lynette and I are doing on intuitive coach training program. So thank you for coming, and thank you for joining us live. We're so excited. I'm Dr. Divi. Hi, everybody. And
I'm Lynette Brown. Hi, everyone.
It's great to see everybody. Thank you so much. And this is our last of our webinar series, like I shared. And if you haven't figured it out, I've taught 2, Lynette's taught 1, and she's teaching another one tonight. If you haven't figured that out, you're figuring it out now. So Lynette's going to lead us into a process in a little bit. And just like we've done for every other webinar so far, we've invited people who have done the year course to join in and share. And because, everyone's busy, it's Christmas season, as you can see behind me, we're going to let them share first. And then if they can stick around, great. And if they don't, great. And so I'm going to bring up Holly and Jeremy. So Jeremy, let me bring you up first, then I'll bring up Holly, and then we'll kind of go from there. Cool. All right, Jeremy.
If you have questions for them, make sure you put it in the discussion box, right? So we can address those.
And this is Jeremy. He's in our current ICT course. So thank you, Jeremy, for showing up. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, very happy to. Been so grateful for everything that it's brought into my life. And I've worked with Divi now for a few years. Can I be very open about how we met and everything, Divi? Yeah. So I was introduced to Divi because I was going through I'm a very upbeat, positive person. And I was going through a very hard time in my life. I was going through a separation and my anxiety was like a 10 out of 10. So I met Divi, literally working with her over a few months, like her ability to just see inside of me and know where I was hurting and what was going on was so profound. And so I was really committed to that process of working with her. It was so much like I'm 35. I've been doing self-development like heavily for probably 16 years. I've invested a lot back into myself. I've done like anything from Landmark to Tony Robbins to you name it, I've done it. And I was getting really kind of turned off by, hopefully nobody's a traditional psychologist or therapist in the room, but the one that I was seeing in particular was just give me really basic things to do. And I was just looking for something deeper. And then working with Divi more and more, I'm a financial advisor. I have my own wealth management business that's quite successful. Like I'm really grateful for it. And I was like, wow, like if I had a Divi in my business, I would just be next level. And so I thought, I can usually tell, I literally thought about it. I'm like, what if Divi would ever come work with us? And I know she's on her own path. So I was like, what I need to do is I need to learn these tools and master them myself. And so I remember probably almost a year ago, I was probably in Divi's couch, on her couch in her office, asking her to basically, I was sitting on the fence saying like, should I do your course? And I just needed her to gently push me over the fence. And I don't even think she said anything. And I just decided, I was like, okay, I'm doing it. And it's a lot of fun for me. Currently, I'm the only guy in the class. I think there's 20 plus women. And so I'm learning so much from all the members in the class. There's a lot of meditation, it's very spiritual to me, like a lot about energy work. And I think if you go in with an open mind, there's no way you can do this class for a year and not have profound growth. And I think it impacts every area of your life, like your love life, your monetary life, your business life. Like it literally touches on everything. And it's really cool for me because I'm not necessarily going out to go be a coach per se, like the traditional sense, but I do that in my day-to-day work anyways. Like I'm an advisor. So just some of the examples of how it's really benefited me is I'll have conversations with clients that aren't ordinarily maybe open people. And I can tell they're telling me things about their family dynamics or whatever, so have you, that they probably aren't telling their therapist, their maybe their wives or husbands, and really opening up to me. And I've always had that gift, but this course has really unlocked it for me at another level. Doing the work, like I've read the book cover to cover, and it's one thing to read the book, but it's doing the practices, going deeper and deeper. And I already knew how magical Divi was, and working with Lynette over the year, like I get to see her magic too. And both these women have just like, they're very, very magical people, and feel so blessed to get to learn from them. So this is something that for me, I will continue to practice this forever, like these types of practices, like the books, I'll go back to the work. I was just messaging with Debbie today saying, oh, I need to see you. Like Debbie often says, like you need mentors, which I totally believe all the time to help calibrate you. So there's a question that says, Jeremy, that's why I went off onto my own unique practice away from. Yeah. So I think anybody that's come to this program, like, or has found it some way, has probably hit their limit or whatever from, maybe the more traditional paths. And it's really cool that Divya and Lynette have built this, because I feel like it's very trailblazing. Like I thought it was so cool. I remember one of our students, and I have so much respect for all the people in our class, like they all have their own unique gifts, but was asking about the certification and how it's accredited. And because it's such a trailblazing program, it's not accredited by anything, because Divya and Lynette are probably like some of the world leaders at what they do. So they're literally setting the benchmark. So you kind of got to go in with that open mind to go, okay, well, I'm doing something so new. This is definitely by no means like the average, I'm going to, university to get a BCom. This is more like I'm doing something that is way ahead of its time, but it's also timeless.
Right.
Wow.
How's my elevator pitch?
Yeah, I'm good, Jeremy. Thank you so much. Raya wrote in, wow, thank you. I'm like so hot right now. Thank you.
That is so very, very.
I could go on. I could spend an hour raving about it. So my girlfriend lives in Spain, my new relationship. She might even watch this video because she's partaking in the course next year. And I've been raving about it to her. Her and I connect on this. Like, we're both very intuitive people. And so she's excited to do this course. So I think that there's so many different reasons why people find this or why they're curious. And it opens up doorways infinitely for any which way. Like I said, money, relationships, alignment. So one piece that I want to share that was probably one of the most powerful for me is the self-worth piece, where I felt like I really got aligned this year doing this program. And it made me so much more peaceful with myself, because being a goal-setting fiend, there's a part of goal setting that can be kind of a dis-ease, where you're always not happy because you're not celebrating. You do the next trip, the next revenue goal, the next this, the next that, and you're on to the next, you're not in it. And I realized, like, through doing this work, it was more just about alignment for me. And that's what I'm focused on now. And I feel better than I ever have, and more worthy than I've ever been. And I've attracted some of the most amazing things in my life this year, like a relationship that I'm never been more excited about. My business is literally having the best year I've ever had. I've had a lot of health breakthroughs. And so I couldn't recommend the course highly enough.
Thank you, Jeremy. That's so sweet. Thank you. And I know you could talk for an hour because I've heard you. So thank you so much.
That's so
that. That's so sweet. Thank you. And thank you. And if you want to stick around, feel free to. And if not,
is there any questions, like somebody that is there anybody that's thinking about it that's on the fence right now, or is everybody all in? Because, like, I guess that's maybe part of why I was asked to come here, is like, if somebody's kind of like fence sitting, I would love to chat about that for a minute before I sign off.
I don't know. They have to tell us or put their hand up, or Daria's hand is up. Can I unmute you, Daria? There you go. Thank you, honey.
Yeah. I just wanted to ask a question about, I guess it's more logistics. Were you doing this course while you were working full time, or did you take a little time off, or?
Yeah, I'm laughing because I have a full-time business that I own, and I have a side hustle business, and I'm a single dad with a daughter, and managing a few other courses alongside of it. So yes, I was. It's so time-wise, it's possible.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great question, Daria. Thank you. Yeah. Any other comments or questions from anyone as I just scroll across? And you can type it in if I don't see your hand. I think so, yeah. Thank you, Jeremy, for asking that.
There's one other that I'll answer that I would ask if I was me right now, is like, because I assume, are you teaching it remotely again?
We're hoping to do the 3-day person intuition in person though, but everything else is remote. Yes.
So here's the funny thing. That's probably one of the last things I'll share, unless somebody has another question. So I was supposed to attend this 1-week executive workshop that was similar price to the ICT program at Stanford. And they were only offering it because of COVID remotely. And I'm like, oh, I can't justify this remotely. And then funnily enough, I decided to do the ICT program, which was a similar cost remote. And I can say like the value is incredible for what it is, between the classes, the mentorship, the pod group, the coaching buddy. Like once it all started unfolding, I was like, this is actually incredible value. And it is nice, to your question, Daria, about logistics, like the fact that it's remote, there's a real pro to that as well. And my understanding is there probably will be an in-person intensive weekend next year, hopefully if COVID permits. And and so there's just a lot of support. Like they're really fantastic at keeping a sacred container. So even though we've been remote, and of course that has its challenges, like it's so worth it.
Thank you, Jeremy. And then Raya wrote in, I don't think this is for you necessarily, but Raya wrote in, only hesitation is trusting the financial piece will be there for her. So
I would happily answer that too. So we have to do 10 hours of coaching to get our ICT cert. And most of mine have been because I put it out to our group. Being a financial advisor, I said, I will, if anybody needs coaching on abundance. And what I've been amazed is how many people had the fear or the resistance about the financial piece going into it, and were able to pull it off. Like it just showed up. So it's kind of like a lot of what they teach is work from asking is given. And I just think, like, if you think of it like an investment, that ROI is infinite. And I say this from an investment advisor perspective, like there is no cost to me. Like with the investment in this, I'm going to get this back so many multiple fold.
Wow. Thanks. Yeah. Wow. You answered that for us.
Yeah, I'm like taking it away. I'm like, hey, Jeremy, will you come to every one of our webinars?
Yeah. Well, Raya, I respect that, because I've done so many, I'll call it self-development things that I felt financially were out of my league. And every time I've done it, I took the leap. It's come back in dividends. I remember 10 years ago when my friend put me on Audible, it was $20 a month. And I was like, I didn't want to pay $20 a month. And now I'll probably spend up to like $300 a month on audiobooks and do like $20,000 courses in the US. And it's just like every time you put a dollar into yourself, because you're really, what you're doing is you're investing into yourself. You get that infinite compounded reward back. And so if there's any way that you can pull that off, aside from robbing a bank, then I would recommend it.
Yeah, none of that.
Wow. Thank you, Jeremy, so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And we say that every week. We don't ask anyone what to say or how to say it, so we don't have a clue what they're going to say. So thank you, Jeremy, from the bottom of my heart. Thank you.
Yeah. Hope that was helpful. I'm very passionate about it, which is why I assume they brought me on, because they know that I love the course. And maybe they didn't even know I loved it this much.
No, I did it.
I had a feeling. So
because you guys were on. So I was like, wow. It's like that was really a lot actually for me to be with. That was very affirming and acknowledging. So thank you, Jeremy. Like, wow. Thank you.
I believe everybody was brought here for a reason. And so if you're hearing this message and you're even, interested, it takes courage to endeavor into these things. It is a time commitment for sure. But, whatever is going on in your life that would make you think that this could be something for you, I assure you, this is probably one of the most beautiful places. You come to the right place. And I highly encourage you to take that leap of faith with Divvy and Lynette.
Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you. And I'm going to take you off spotlight and bring Holly up. And if you take off, thanks, Jeremy.
I might drop off, but it was lovely to meet you. And Divvy or Lynette, if you want to give my information, anybody that wants to reach out, pick my brain further, happy to.
Thanks, Jeremy.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
so kind of you. He's a busy man, guys.
Hi, Jeremy.
That's a big offer.
It's huge.
Yeah.
I'm blown away too, actually. Like,
yeah.
Whew, now I'm gonna bring Holly up, and Holly will be like, Holly, cheesy Holly.
I know. I get to follow Jeremy.
Oh, Andrew, his offer was if anyone wants to talk to him afterwards, they could message me. I'll set you up on his email address or whatever. So.
If you had any questions or whatever, he's happy to answer. Yeah.
This is Holly. Holly did our first ICT course, right? The very first one. So, hey, Holly.
Hi. How are you guys?
We're great.
Good. Yeah, I did the first year, and I'll just address that one financial question right away. I heard about the class and I was so intrigued. I knew Lynette because my husband was getting coaching with Lynette, and he loved it and was really working for him. And I'd gotten some coaching from you and done an intuition course, I think, that you offered. And then this class came up and I was just so excited, but we were at a point financially where I was a little nervous. And but I just knew that I was like, I really feel like this is going to be like the best decision. Like, I'm be really happy that I made the decision to take this course. And I was, and I'm super glad I found the money, and the money I just trusted it would be there, and it was. So if that's the only thing holding you back, if you can do it, like I said, short of robbing a bank, just do it. You'll be so happy. It's like priceless. So the course was amazing. The people I took the course with were amazing. We became super close. I still am good friends with a lot of the coaches, and we meet every other week, a few of us still, because we can't let go of all that support, and we just miss each other if we don't talk. I think like the buddy calls, Christine and I would still talk like after the course was over. We just still talked every month, like because it was so amazing.
What year were you, Holly?
His 2018 was the class, and it ended in December 2018, right? Yeah. And I have to move this because it's really bothering me. Okay. And then, so I don't know anything else about the course in itself. Like the intuition portion, we got to meet in person in Seattle, and mind-boggling, like came away just buzzing. So great. I mean, I can't say, it's just like a very intense, you do all this really deep, intense work on yourself that's just invaluable, that you will use forever and ever. I got the chance to use it right away because I was diagnosed with cancer like 2-3 months after the course ended. And if I had not taken this course, my experience with that would have been completely different. I was in such a good space and ready to look at it instead of like, why is this happening? Instead I could say like, what is this here to teach me? Like, how did I invite this in? And I wasn't like angry at the cancer. I was like, okay, like, what do we need to do here? And it was just a completely different experience had I not done all this work through the course. What else did I want to say? I also wanted to mention, like when you go through this, just saying that you don't have to end up like think you want to be a coach or end up being a coach. Like this will still be something that you will use all the time, for yourself, for your family, with your friends. Like it just becomes like a part of you and how you live. Also, somebody mentioned like time for the course, and that I'm a stay-at-home mom. So I have a couple of kids, and I looked forward to all the class. It was really great. And the homework was totally manageable. And I would just say my advice is, if you do it, just be all in. Just take advantage of all the pieces that they're offering you, because they're put there for a reason. And even though it might seem a little overwhelming at first, it's kind of like, like you got that PA group meeting you have to get to or something. Like we had people in their car on the phone, like you can make it work. And it's kind of like, it's just getting there is the hard part. And once you're there, you're just really happy you're there. So I think that was all I wanted to say. Yeah. Does anybody have any questions?
No.
Nope. I think
Awesome.
I love
I'm
it.
going to go feed those children. So I'm gonna...
Holly, thank you. And I just thank you. I love that you guys are still in touch. The fact that you know, graduated or certified, you know, years ago and still being in touch. And I just think that says a lot about who you guys are, right? That you're really invested in the work. And that's what this is, right? Is really that transformational part. And that's, to me, is like, wow, it's taken hold.
Yeah.
You know?
And I do, and somebody just asked, are you a coach? I am a coach, and I do work with some of my fellow coaches. Like my one coach and I have a group called Mama Collective, and we're on Clubhouse, and you know, we're dabbling in different things and coming up with new ideas, and it's like a creative environment, and it's so great. And
if you're interested and you want to coach, Holly is a fantastic coach. If you're looking like you're like, okay, I don't know if I can handle this program, well, you could work. She'd be a great person to work with.
Yeah. Love to. And somebody says my biggest takeaway. Oh, that's not an easy question.
Oh, what a good question.
My biggest takeaway. Okay, I think my biggest takeaway is, okay, this work doesn't ever end. Like, your journey with this class will just be the beginning. You will just continue to do it if it just speaks to you. My biggest takeaway, I think, is that, how do I say this? Your life is not, it's not that taking this class and then your life will be perfect. Like, you get all the answers and then everything's good. What it does is it gives you the strength to like know, like, whatever life hands you, you are fully capable in working through it or moving through it. And it's just kind of like this ride you're on. And it's just that after this class, the ride's more fun. You know, it's more enjoyable. It's not as scary. Right?
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I would say that's my biggest takeaway.
Yeah, it's not as scary.
Yeah. Awesome. Cool.
Great questions.
Thank you, Holly.
Thanks, you guys.
Thank you. Go feed your kids.
I will. Good to see everybody. Okay.
Kisses to everybody.
Okay. Yeah, I will. Bye.
Bye. Bye, honey. Okay. Wow, that was crazy, Lana.
Wow. Do any of you guys have any questions for us before we move into our, our playtime? I don't know what else to call it. For us, no? Good. Oh, thanks for the braids. Oh, yeah.
They are cute.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, my hair has a tendency to be Rosanna Donna. So, Divi, you want to start, babe?
Yeah, why don't you just jump in and then.
Okay, so tonight, what we're going to connect with you about, what we're going to talk about is universal laws and why, I don't know if any of you guys have ever researched or wondered. It's like there's a whole big thing about law of attraction. Okay, yeah, great. But it's only one of the laws, right? And we have found, and one of the things we teach in the course is how to use universal laws in your life. In other words, if you want to attract or you want to have, you want to start your own business, let's say you want to do a coaching business, or let's say you already have a business and you want to expand it. The universal laws will show you everything that you need to do with that. 100%, right? And it's not, what I love about the universal laws for me, and all the years of studying them, trying, and still uncovering, right? I feel like there are these layers and layers and layers that we're uncovering with them as we explore and sit with them, just like with any other ancient text. But the powerful thing about it is that when you realize that these laws have been passed down because this is how it's been meant to be. In other words, when you realize, so the first Hermetic principle is mentalism, that everything is of the mind, that you are the mind, you are the director, right? And that's sounds so out there, right? And this has happened thousands of years ago, back to Hermes, right? Writing about this stuff. And you can utilize it in your everyday life, just like what Holly was talking about, how it makes the roller coaster ride smoother. It's because we focus on these points, right? We look to universal laws to, like for our practice, for ourselves, right? And so what I want to take you through tonight, I want to take you through a little exercise and working with a couple of universal laws for a situation you have. So how you can adapt it to your everyday life. Because I know part of success and transformation is being able to utilize it on a daily basis, right? That's why, like in our class, we'll also have you track your success habits. And that's the things that you're doing daily to support your work, like your trajectory, your goal, where you want to be. So the other thing that we have in the course is again, that accountability feels important to say, right? And part of it, we can find it all through universal laws. Debbie, do you want to say anything? No? Feeling it? Okay. Okay. So I want to share, I'm going to share my screen and hopefully I do it right. Okay, here it is. Okay, so what we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about the mentalism, the universal law of perpetual transmutation, and the universal law of relativity. Now, all universal laws are always working together. And when I say universal laws, I'm also including the Hermetic principles, right? So they're kind of there's an overlap. There's an expansion there. So we're going to focus on these three specific ones, but they're all working together. Okay. All right. So I'm going to click on this and I'm going to share it. So I'm going to share. So we're going to talk about universal. So we know that mentalism is everything is out of the mind, right? Well, the universal law of perpetual transmutation says that everything, energy is forever moving in and out of form. Everything is always moving. Energy is always moving in and out of form. Okay. And the universal law of relativity is all about everything that we compare things to, right? What the meaning we assess to things. So we'll look at something and we'll say, oh, the light is green. That means go, right? That's the meaning we assess to it. So I'm going to put some photos up and I want you just to be with them and look at them. And I want you just to look at them and notice, what do you see first? And do you see the mutation or the transformation of the photo into something else? Okay, hope I do this right. Here's the first photo. Do you see flowers or do you see a woman's face? Right? See how this is, here's the woman's face, lips, nose, right? This shows your mind. The mentalism part of this is like, this is all of my mind. I can see her face and I can see the flowers. I can compare the two. They're relative to each other. And I can hold both. Okay. Let me show you the next one. Now, what do you see here? A lion or a monkey? Notice, which is real. It's what's cool about this is that our eyes, our body, our receptors are working, our chakras, everything's tuning in, right? And it's like, ooh, I see that lion. Ooh, I see a monkey. I see the lion. I see the monkey. I see the lion. I see the monkey. That is a demonstration of how the energy can flow and move out, in and out, right? Where your perception changes in and out, in and out. Give me another one. rabbit or a duck? Rabbit that way, duck this way, right? Right? Let's try the next one. Oh, no, not that. Not that. This. Ugh. Ship sailing or arches in the arches with water? Notice how your body is and your eyes, and think how that as we go through these, you're transmitting, you're shifting, you're transmuting, you're seeing the pictures faster and faster, are you not? Okay, one more. If you can see 2 images in this, you're a genius. Isn't that amazing, right? You see it? Snow White and Sherlock Holmes, right? Nope, not that one. Okay, so everybody with me? Everybody good, right? Any questions? I just wanted to give you that analogy because before we go into the process, so that you kind of have some some concrete examples of what we're going to do in the process. Anybody have any questions on me? I was just going to check the side. No, we're good.
Yep. We're good. Someone said
the line.
It's pretty normal.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And that's part of it too, right? There's sometimes there's that transmutation that's happening in our mind, and our mind's fixed on, no, it's only a monkey. It's only a monkey. There's no lion. And it's kind of like you have to go, la, 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 right? It's like, look the other way. And what's so expansive about working with these universal laws is that you can take any situation and not only understand them, but the situation, but also have guidance and know where you can go from there, right? How to direct yourself. Andrea says she saw everything else except the lion. Okay. All right. So let's get, paper, everybody has paper and pen, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to go into a meditation. We're going to go into a process, and just relax. Let your pen and paper just be there so that you can write when you need it, and just relax your body, your mind, close your eyes, and take some deep breaths. In and out. One more time. Now. And allowing your body to feel completely supported, and your consciousness being present in this space. In calling forth your divine support team, your ancestors. And breathing deeper and relaxing your body even more. And I want you to consider or bring forward a challenge you have right now. It might be something smaller, it could be something large. Just any challenge or contrast that you have in your life. Maybe it's, there's so many Christmas presents to buy. I don't know. Anything that has you feel irritated, let's say it that way. Think of that. Bring that item or situation, bring that forward in your mind. And as you bring it into your mind, assign it a symbol or a color assign it an image. And just let that image be there. That is that situation, that irritation or that habit, whatever it is, that frustration you have with a coworker, your boss, whatever. Have it and allow it to be turned into and be that symbol or image. And keep breathing. And I want you to see and take your focus and away from that image of that particular circumstance or situation. I want you to expand your vision. So if looking at this image is you looking at a microscope, I want you to back it up into right here. So back away from that image. Pull your view back even more. So you're going from your room to the house, to the street, to your city, to your country, to your territory, to the globe, to beyond. And I want you out there beyond, looking from a way higher perspective. And look back at this symbol or image. Look back at it. And notice that it's shifted. It doesn't look the same. It's much like the photographs you just saw. You're looking at it, you're able to see something, the energy is transmuting, it's shifting, and you're able to see something else besides just that original image. And it's small, and it's doable, it's holdable. Feel the ease of looking at that image or that symbol that represents that contrast. And notice that your body doesn't respond or get activated because the energy is shifting forms in your mind through mentalism. And you're relaying a different image. You're relating differently to this circumstance, to this symbol, to this image. And in a minute, I'm going to ask you to come back in to look closer. Not right now, but as you come in, I'm going to ask you to hold both the big and small of it, the distance and the close up. So see yourself getting closer and closer and bringing the expanded perspective. All when you were out there, bring it back with you. Bring it back with you. Now it's next to this image, this symbol of this contrast you're experiencing. And bring them together. Just like the illusion art, the flowers and the face, the ships and the arches, both identifying and acknowledging each other, both sides relative to each other. It's important they relate to each other. And as these symbols and energies are transforming and transmuting, I want you to ask to receive any guidance or information regarding this situation for yourself. How can I, maybe it's how can I hold this differently? How can I heal this? How can I let this go? How can I have the money? How can I receive that guidance now? Allow yourself, open yourself up, because you're holding both. The universe is paying attention to only you right now. And you're holding both and they're together. And now I want you to pick up your pad and your pen and just start writing whatever comes to you. We're going to use your automatic writing, right? And just start writing anything that comes to you, any colors you saw, anything you felt, what you want to know the answer to, or how do I deal with this situation, or how do I forgive? And just do some free flow writing. Just a few minutes. So we can anchor this awareness, this consciousness. And the interesting thing about this is that even you being in this process and writing these things down, you are setting intent of action. So this is the universal law of intent, action. Right? Where it's all about having intent action. Like we call it deliberate action, right? So everything you're drawing, even the conversation in your mind of receiving solutions or guidance or even images or colors, are going to expand you and your understanding. And maybe you won't have the whole thing right this minute. And we're going to help you decipher some of it if that's the case. Right? We have time, right, Debbie? Yeah, we got some time. Right? Good. When you're finished, when you feel like you've got a stopping spot, keep feeling it. Debbie, what did you want to say, honey? You can feel this power.
I totally feel this. It's powerful, powerful process. I keep getting just let them keep writing for a sec.
Okay.
Yeah. Powerful process.
And just like you were seeing more and more of the images as we were practicing through, you continuing to write, you're going to receive more and more, right? And the beauty of this is such a simple little process that you can use with universal laws around anything. You have a kerfuffle with your kid or your partner or, your sister, your brother. This is something you can easily go in and boom, take care of it for yourself. A lot of times, the other thing I'm being guided to share is that so often, we've set a goal or we want X and we're headed to X. But what happens is we hit all these obstacles, the things that we need to expand through to be the person to have this X. And so often we spend our time staring at the obstacle instead of adjusting ourselves, our alignment, our resonance, and what we see in the relativity, the meaning we assess to the obstacle. Oh, I must not be worth anything since I'm having such a hard time. But Lucy over there, she's doing a really great job and she's not having any trouble and she's making all kinds of money, right?
Question that just came in is, what is the difference between obstacle and self-sabotage?
I guess self-sabotage is an obstacle. An obstacle can be anything from, procrastination, or it could be, no motivation. Self-sabotage a lot, usually, and we talk about this a lot in the course, self-sabotage shows up as you taking action, but it's somehow getting manipulated or askew, right? Divya, you want to say something about it?
No, it's exactly what I was going to say. We talk a lot about self-sabotage in the course, and using processes like this, and I'm going to add to just this whole thing in a second, using processes like this, we can have a different vantage point, but also learn how to move through our stuff. What I want to piggyback to what Jeremy said about also Lynette. So it's a year. It's a long time. It's a deep course. And one of the reasons it's so long and so deep is because we're constantly teaching ourselves and each other how to apply universal laws to what's happening in the world, right? Like Holly so vulnerably shared, she developed cancer a couple months after we finished. I think it was a couple months. And instead of like the kind of colloquial way to people would speak in the energy world is, how did I attract that in, right? Ugh. Versus, we use different words and then we understand resonance, and the power lies in understanding us. So the obstacle, self-sabotage, to understanding us and how we can shift our vibration to shift what's going on out here. And that's something that we thread throughout the whole year course, like pretty much every class. And that's what I want to add. Yes.
And too, like somebody had said something about the money collapsing conversation. I can't remember. You sent me that, Divya, and I didn't get to watch it.
Right.
But any of those conversations, those, the pandemic, the zeitgeist conversation, the world is ending conversation, money is all going to be, Bitcoin's all about, blah, 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 right? This is what's so brilliant about these immutable laws. They're called immutable because they don't ever change, right? And that is that anything that comes your way, you can use these to where you can stand in your core and thrive regardless of what's going on, right?
That's beautiful. It's a great process.
Well, this is what they want to do. They need to do today. So, what do we want to, I know we're recording this, so do we want to check and see how people,
let's do that. How was that? Does anyone want to share by typing in, or I can unmute you? How was that? What did you notice? Anyone hit anything that kind of felt like, what's going on? And
you want us to dissect something, or not dissect, getting guidance for you too, right?
We're all good with that one. I wouldn't mind sharing. That was Karen. So let me unmute you, Karen. If you don't mind unmuting yourself, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. Hi, Dr. Devi and beautiful Lynette. Everything you both speak of, it really resonates so much with me. I think for me, the first thing that came to me when you said, can you think of a situation, was the anxiety.
Wait a second, you reconnected with a lot of people this last.
I think I got it. Are you still there, Karen?
Yep, I am, yes. Can you hear me now?
Yep, you're good.
Okay, great. The first thing that came to me is that lately I've been experiencing my anxiety coming back. It's always the first thing in the morning kind of feeling. And that's the thing that showed up for me. And when I was going away into space, into darkness, into almost divine territory, it seems so minuscule and so tiny. And I'm like, wow, I give it so much power. It didn't have as much power. And then I saw it was so as you beautifully guided us, Lynette, it changing into like this amazing, almost like, the Mediterranean Sea blue. It's like an azure blue, kind of an oval shape, almost like a very smooth pebble, and then a brilliant white light. It's shining around it, like it's, and I thought, could the blue be that, okay, it's my throat chakra, and maybe I need to speak my truth? And I wasn't sure, and I've not been able to write much, but that was just a question that I had at the time? Could the blue be that I need to be speaking my truth?
I think that's part of it. One of the things too, and we forget, and this is something, you know, we just recently talked about this, right, Divi, is the throat chakra impacts all the chakras.
Mm.
And when we're not speaking our truth, or we don't feel heard, it might not necessarily be that you're not speaking, it's that you may not be feeling heard or received.
Right.
And that anxiety, when I was tuning into that anxiety, that waking up anxiety, it's almost like, I could feel that short breath, and it's like, like, it's not, am I going to be seen today? Am I going to survive today? Like, am I going to make it through today? Not that you're consciously thinking that, but it's like your electrical system, your body. Your
exactly. It's more like, it's always in the stomach area, and it's always like, oh gosh, I know once I'm up and about, I can conquer it, it's gone. But it's that first thing in the morning, and it sets me off for the day. Like, oh gosh, not again, and puts me in that fear mode first thing in the morning, which isn't pleasant. So
what I would also do is work with that azure color, that pebble that you saw, and use that energy, you know, when you go to bed at night, like maybe, you know, have that pebble surround you to where you feel peace and calm. And that so waking up, you're not jumping into your body too quick. I keep feeling like you're getting into your body so quick, and then you're like almost like startled awake.
Yes.
What it feels like you're startled awake, like you don't just like,
Oh yes, I never wake up gradually. It's always like, okay, eyes open, mind's working, I'm up.
Yeah. So when you wake up, lay there and tell your mind to slow down. Just don't. See if you can like lay there for 1 minute and and just let it, and breathe and let the anxiety move. Say, this is an old pattern. Just let it move.
I've tried that, Lynette, and yes, it's very difficult, but you're right, maybe doing it with having this image there, because what I was finding and sensing is that I was seeing more of a dark black shadowy color with the tummy butterflies, and then I saw this beautiful other side of it almost, and I've written here that both can coexist together. That's what came up. Both can, and I saw that there's that beauty to it, and it's teaching me something. So, you know, I want to honor it for the beauty part of it, and not sort of stay focused on the dark part of it. So
use it for good, not evil.
Like,
yeah, the energy, right? It's like towards what you want, right?
Thank you.
Thank you, Karen. That was beautiful. I'll just read Keith and Raya's share. So Keith wrote in, he had end of month cash flow issues. I saw dollar bills that formed a carpet, like a magic carpet. Then I saw angel wings showing up on each side.
Whoa.
Beautiful.
That, you know, follow that, Keith. Seriously, follow that. Like that visualization.
Then Araya wrote in, my anxiety is lingering around too. I nearly fell asleep during the visual. I have been in a very exhausted state, lots happening.
Try, you know, Raya, try that with all that exhaustion, try that process of going out and seeing this from a different perspective, like the images, right? See if you can see the other perspective, like what Karen so beautifully expressed. She's like, yeah, both can exist. They're both teaching me. I need to go through this so I can be the person that can have that, right? I've got that I'm the resonance and alignment and vibration and frequency of that, right?
Beautiful. And that was it. There's nothing else. People typed in, yeah. So.
What did you want to say, Divi?
Sure. One thing that I have found about the course, but also about the universal laws, it never ends learning them, never ends reading them, never ends applying them. But for myself, it has been the most empowering journey to understand. You know, you hear the Abraham work, that some of you may have heard of the Abraham Hicks work, what Jeremy was alluding to the book, Ask and It's Given. You hear the concept that I created my life. Sometimes I just want to hit my head against the wall going, huh? But it's really like that. The beautiful thing about the work is that it's a never ending deepening. You know, so I was journaling the other day. Okay, if I created my life, how did I create my husband? You know, and it was like, okay, I got to start writing about this, right? That's what I mean, guys. It never ends.
There's always more.
And I say this, and I 100% mean this, guys, 100%. Speaking back to what Jeremy shared, I would take this course if I could and actually do every time I teach it. Because Lynette and I teach it, we're literally taking it. And it's like, literally like, we put our seatbelts on and go, oh, here we go again, right? Right?
Right, 100%, because we believe in being authentic, and we would never ask you guys, anybody who signs up, to do anything we're not doing, like literally doing, right? So we're all about walking the talk and being present, right, for you in whatever capacity, you know, whatever that looks, in support.
This is coming in really loudly. Every year the course changes because we don't have, I was talking to somebody about it today and they said, so is there curriculum I can read? And I said, it doesn't work that way because it's an energetic course. So I can give you an idea of what I teach, but that may or may not be taught. And it's different every time. So what happens is I have an idea of what to teach, but I sit with the energy of the group every week and okay, this is what we're teaching, this is what we're teaching. It changes every week. So as most of you know, I teach a lot of the first 6 months, Lynette teaches a lot of the last 6 months, but we're on all of each other's calls, obviously. But Lynette sometimes teaches things that make me go, I have to do what? And that's what I mean. We're all like, she says, okay, we're creating this next week. I'm like, oh God, right? So I'm always taking it and it makes me laugh because, you know, she brought in some stuff this year that I was like, oh, Lynette, you make me work, and vice versa, right? So exactly. That's the fun part about it. In terms of when it starts Tuesday, January 11th. And somebody asked me today by email, Lynette, and I thought we could maybe talk about it for a second. They asked me when the cutoff date was. And what I emailed them back was, you know, we trust that whoever's aligned to start in the course will be able to register when there's a spot. But what I would say to people is the sooner you register, A, you'll have a spot, and B, the energy of the course starts working. I know a number of you have already signed up, and I know a few of you have already said to me, the course is already working in the summer. Oh my God, right, Dina? And it's like, right? But that's what happens in a good way, in a great way. So, yeah. So January 11th tomorrow. Yeah.
So January 11th is the deadline to sign up.
Yeah, you're so cute. Yeah.
So is that right? Okay.
I will say that.
I'm like, yeah, you can sign up that morning. That's fine. Right?
Potentially, yeah, potentially. If
maybe, I don't know, there might not be space. Like I don't want to say that. Like I'm taking that back because I took
the words out of my mouth. I'm like, but what if there's no space?
My word, because then somebody's gonna say you said, and so first come, first serve. How about that? It's like, you know, dinner. You know, first come, first serve.
Any other comments, questions, anything else on that?
And it's just, that's why I was just tuning in.
Me too. Because it's our last webinar. So I want to make sure there's no comments, questions. How's everyone feeling? Kieran asked, and Daria wants to share, so we'll do one at a time. Karen said, do you have a class limit? Lynette?
Well, clearly we do, right? It always shows up like that. Mm-hmm. Our class limit is based on the depth of the class, right? Is that, I mean, I'm not trying to confuse. I mean, Divi and I are open to having 100 people.
Yeah.
But we also know that to hold 100 people for a year for each of us, and to each of us have our own businesses and to be of service in the capacity of who we want to be. Because that means being available. Like something happens, we're available. Like we'll get on a call like this, we're available. And so to do that for 100 people might be, you know, we'd have to definitely, I don't know.
Cut back on our businesses, open another time, do something. So to answer that question, Karen, what we do, and I completely trust our divine guidance, like 1,000%. So we know that we will get the notice as to when to stop enrolling. I think that would be a fair statement on it.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. And I know a lot of people are like, but you don't have like a date. I'm like, no, because that's not how the divine works.
Your guidance, you know, if you're meant to be there, you will be, and you're feeling the pull, you do what works for you, because this is not a used car salesman thing. This is far from that. And we love you guys. Just the fact that you've taken all the time out of your busy life to be here with us for an hour and hang out with us and do this, like, is a blessing and an honor to both of us. So right? So just know that, right? We really walk this talk. That's where we're being completely authentic and honest. It's not like, oh, to get you to sign up. It's not that. We totally trust. We know if you're meant to be there, you will be.
Totally. And I'm going to grab you in a second, Daria. Craig said, are you already signed up? You're good, Craig. You're good to go. And I'll read Afton's in a second. So Daria, maybe I'll get you to unmute yourself. Do you want to share, Daria? Where are you, honey? Where are you? There you are. Awesome.
Well, yeah, I was just going back to the meditation and money, but related to like something else that was going on this month. And so it was just like a number on a card, really, you know, the amount, and on a black marker. And I thought, okay, well, that's not terribly exciting. And then it just morphed into this like 3D fountain, and I thought, what is that, water? And then it's like I had to look closer, and it was a fountain of like money. And the message I got was, that's all you asked for? It was almost taunting me, like in a way, like, you know, you can ask for a little more if you want. Like, why are you so desperate for that? Like, here you go, you know, like it just overflowing. And the movement. So it went from a sign that was flat, black, white, 2D to this like 3D Technicolor, like constant, you know.
Daria, that's huge.
Yeah.
That is huge.
Yeah. So it's kind of like, okay, yeah, what are your needs? But also like, don't even put limitations on your needs. You know, so.
Or
anyway.
on what you want, right?
Our wants, our needs, or you know, and then what else did I read here? Okay, your limited number of lack was transmuted into a never-ending flow of abundance. Is that all you're asking for? Is that all you expect?
Well, that's not spot on and direct. I don't know what is.
Yeah.
Guys sound a lot like mine. They just get right to the heart.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
And just quickly going back to, you had mentioned Rosanna Dana earlier.
Uh-huh.
Oh my goodness. Over the last couple of weeks, I had just been doing my comic intern dealing with stuff, right?
Uh-huh.
And I remember Rosanna Dana, so I'm dating myself here, but I needed sort of comic relief on some stuff that was swirling through my head because I have a tendency to overthink. And I thought, okay, it's like I need this little reminder. As soon as I thought that, Rosanna Dana, about 3 inches tall, came up on my shoulder, okay, and sat there and went, stop that. And you can picture it. So it's like, okay, like that's all I needed. It's just this little, you know, and it was it made me laugh, and it got me out of that thinking, you know.
There's that transmutation right there, that perpetual transmutation. There's that energy morphing.
Yeah, but I mean, who do I know in my life that has like brought up Rosanna Dana? And you did. So
yeah, and that was like random too. So I say random. It wasn't. I don't believe in random, right? But yeah, that was so. Obviously, that was for you, Daria.
Yes.
Thank you for sharing, honey.
Love that. Thanks, Daria. That was so beautiful.
Awesome.
There's one more question that came in. I think this is from Afton. She wrote in, I have a question. I have a question about what Jeremy said. He talked about how his therapist was not adding these elements to therapy. Could you please talk a little bit more about how training also teaches you, how this training, also teaches you to guide others as well as it is being an internal transformation? Sure.
So part of that is, you know, once you've walked through the fire, so to speak, once you've walked through, you know, healing and working through your stuff, you're able to help others, right? So it's, and every session and every, like Divi was saying, like every class we teach, we're there live, but we're also in the container, right? So we focus on you, and in focusing on you expands your service, your unconditional love and service for the world. Do you want to add something to that?
That's beautiful. I'll add what I was getting, a little bit different, but very similar. See if this lands. Very similar. Because the course is about application to self, I can only guide a client through what I've applied.
Right.
And it's speaking from that space of, I've done the book of positive aspects, or I play with universal law of transmutation. And the difference with therapy that Jeremy was alluding to, and beautiful work therapists do, incredible, is this added piece of intuition, spirit that in my world takes it that much deeper, or like clunks. That's the picture I'm seeing. And it clunks. And then when I'm recommending a process or taking a client through a process, it clunks more. That's the picture I'm seeing, Afton. I hope that makes sense. And please, Afton, type in and let us know if that answers your question, because I want to make sure that got answered. So that's a great question, though. Any other comments, questions? How y'all doing? And I'll just kind of do a sign off as I'm waiting for Afton just to type in. Hope she's still here. So tomorrow yes, the reason I asked was because I'm trained to be a therapist. That's what I thought, Afton. Perfect. It's a nice add-on. That's beautiful, Afton. Lynette, do you want to add anything before I kind of do a final sign off? Okay. So I'll be sending out an email tonight or tomorrow morning with the final recording and the link to if you want to register for the course. And if there's any questions, you're feeling a pull, trust that pull, okay? Because in my world, everything I've been pulled to, like literally, I won't say how old I am, but all of my little big career moves and all my little courses and everything has led me here. And every time I trusted the pull, okay? And we don't pull you, your guides gently pull you. Right? And I can say 1,000%, I'm not pulled to everything. Right, Lynette? So if you're here on the call, you're watching the recording, trust me. So I'll put in there, click if you want to register, and then I'll send you the reading list and the Energy 101. And it doesn't take long. People register the same day and catch up on the Energy 101. It doesn't take long at all. But that'll get you started ahead of time, because if you don't have to do the reading ahead of time, but it helps if you want to start the reading ahead. And then
list from last year.
Yes, and I always say that when I send it out, this is last year's. Usually it's the same, but we might add or subtract the occasional book, but that's right. Anything else you want to add, Lynette? And we're excited to have you join us on the 11th. I need to say that, like, so excited. Yeah.
Oh, it's awesome, right?
Yeah.
Really, it's exciting. I feel it. And part of this, I have to say, for me, it's like, we're coming up on finishing this year's, the 2021 group. And it's almost, it's sad, right, to say goodbye, and with people that you spent a year with. And we're not saying goodbye, we'll always be there, but knowing that we're going into working with you guys and those of you who are saying yes, I just want you to know it's so beautiful to move from this into that, it's the cycle. It's just phenomenal. It really is. So thank you for being here and being part of it.
Thank you for watching the recording or watching live. And yeah, 01-11-22 is a great line of numbers, right? I agree. So
look at that.
The numbers woman over there. So
yeah, all about it.
I know.
Thank you guys. Thanks for being here. Thank you for taking.
Love y'all very much. Thank you so much. Big love. Thanks for that.
Thanks, darling. Love you.
Love you guys too. Take care. Love you. Bye guys. Bye, Keith. All right. Ciao, everyone.